Hello everyone, welcome to IT Strategy. Today we will be discussing about ISIT technologies, its associated infrastructures and strategic choices within business context. With me today is Alex and Ali. So first of all, the content of our discussion is going to be technologies, taking database as an example, and infrastructure and its components, strategic choices and how they are being formed, and finally the implementation of strategic choices within the global context of business. So we need to know what technology is all about. So technology is a body of knowledge that is being put together to develop a tool to help simplify processes and activities to support people and organizations within their daily lives. And then also going to infrastructure. Infrastructure is the framework or the backbone that supports the technology. So it can be physical or virtual, and it can be the combination of both. So the main components of infrastructure will be discussed later on by Alex. So handing over to Alex, we'll discuss about database. Alex, can you tell us more about
this technology? I'm going to talk about data, information, and knowledge. Data are raw facts and figures that tells us about something, but they are not organized. When these data are organized in their given context, they become information. And when information is given meaning, it becomes a knowledge. So database stores information in organized manner. So what is database? Database is a data structure that stores organized information. Within database, there are several tables, and within tables, there are several fields. So a company or an organization is expected to have several databases. For example, they will have database for products, for employees, financial records, and suppliers. Now let me talk about the database management system. It's a type of software that allows you to define, manipulate, manage, and retrieve data stored within the database. It sits between the end user and the database. So for this technology to work, it needs infrastructures. And infrastructures has four components, which are hardware, software, network, and data. So for the database and database management system, the hardware are the servers, computers, storage, cooling system, and power supply. This can be centralized or decentralized. They can be in-house or cloud. The softwares will include the database management system, for example, Oracle database, the data access language, for example, SQL, the database engine, the data dictionary, as well as firewall. This can also be centralized or decentralized. The network will include the switches, routers, protocol, cables, and firewalls. These are centralized in-house. And the data will include text, images, and numbers. This can be centralized or decentralized. They can be in-house or in cloud. So, Bakal, tell us about the critique about this technology.
Well, as you all know, information is a very vital part of every business, because without information, business can't function. They won't be able to gain more insight and provide what their customers really want, and they won't be able to meet their objectives. So having a database is really a good decision and a very, at the same time, tough decision to make, because you have to consider whether the database needs to be centralized or decentralized. So before making that decision, there are some key factors you need to consider, such as adaptability, maintainability, service or upgrade, power supply. So with all this, if the database is to be in-house, then factors such as power outage or disaster can bring a complete stop to the whole business operation, and then lead to loss of money and at the same time customer satisfaction. This will make customers look for alternatives while they were leaving the business. And then if the technology, which is the database, is to be decentralized, it will give more advantage to the company, because at the same time they will focus less on the infrastructures and technology in terms of maintenance, upgrade, power supply, and data recovery and adaptability of technologies. The providing company will be the ones in charge of that, so giving the organization more time to focus on their objectives and how to achieve it. So Ali, can you tell us more about the strategic implementation choices?
Sure. Looking at this picture, you can actually see the man representing the business, the strategy representing the pathway towards the objective of the business, and infrastructure creating a platform to cater all the needs. Strategy itself includes the analysis, the choice, and the implementation. But the main focus is going to be on the strategic choice and how does the business come up with different strategic choices, and later picking the best one and implementing it. So the foundation for any strategic choice inside a business is knowledge management, 1. 2 is business analytics or business intelligence, as really called in businesses nowadays. So what is knowledge management? Knowledge management is like any knowledge, any information, any data that you were talking about. When you generate it, when you discover it, you go through certain procedures in the knowledge management section. So one is generating, coming up with new knowledge for the business. Second is capturing it. So you use applications, tools to capture the data, you record the data, then codify it. So you make it understandable to the users of that knowledge. And lastly, you transmit to them. So you use certain tools and applications, so the data can actually be transferred to the users. Another thing is business analytics, but before you ask that, how do businesses, like firms, acquire competitive edge or an advantage over other firms in the market? By implementing business analytics. So what business analytics does is helps you make decisions based on the analysis that you do. So the strategic analysis that needs to be done should carry 5 capabilities. 1 is it should be hard to duplicate. Second, better than the competitors. In order to be better, then obviously you need information and knowledge from the market, and what are they doing and how you can do it differently. Third is renewability. Renewability is when you generate profit, you reinvest them into the firm and get better technologies or maintain them. Fourth is adaptability. So you become very flexible in the market, you adapt very quickly because technology is a market where you need to quickly adapt it. So in that strategy, the last thing is the uniqueness. You should be very unique in whatever you offer. Moving on is the business analytics. So how does business analytics actually give you the opportunity to implement your choice? You need to have four components. Linking it back to the technology that you gave, the example database, it needs like 4 things. 1, data repository. Data repository is basically the storing place of the data. Second is the software tools that you need to process and analyze the data. Third is the analytical environment, the organization culture and the people and the training that you give. So marked on the right on the slide is actually the 3 components, the processes, the people and the technology that you need to invest in order to have a great business analytical capability. Now, Alex, could you tell us about how do you implement this strategic choice in a global context?
So having an IT or IS strategy is not enough. You have to implement it so that to get the change that I desire. So to implement it, you have to produce the ISYT document and share with stakeholders, internal or external as appropriate. Second, you have to explicitly incorporate the IT strategy in the organization and the department planning. Third, you have to allocate resources, which are people, information technology, and finance, so that this strategy can be implemented properly. And then you have to manage change, which will include overcoming the resistance from the people. So we'll conclude the discussion for today.
Basically, Alex, what you talked about was the technology and how does the database actually needs an infrastructure. And then lastly, we talked about the strategic choice that is generated by the knowledge, implementing knowledge management, implementing business analytics, and lastly, implementing the best strategic choice that we come up with in the global context. These are the references that we have used. Thank you so much for listening.
Next semester
So can I be flexible like this way,
Uh,
or I should be like rigid?
you should,
Like this.
yeah, like this is okay. Yeah. So we're all advancing. Now I can 10 minutes. Do some later. Alright.